Hi, I'm Matt Lehman, and I'm going to work on an AI workflow this evening. My stream was interrupted, so I'm not going to reiterate everything that I just said into the void. We'll just jump into it. So first things first, I need to work on sending content to Telegram to via my personal bot using the Telegram package that I've got, which is the Pi Telegram bot API here. And so we got to go to that documentation, figure out how to send that to the thing. So what I want to see is, can I get a message from my bot account to me as a direct message? So that's our objective. Let's see if we can go manage to do that. So first, let's go to telebot, I think is the name of the Python import. It's got this long package name. Let's go to the official documentation, and here we are. So types of API. I want to do. Oh man, let's get Grok to help out here. Why not? This is like one thing Grok is good at, is figuring out. Oh, thanks, Jeffrey. I think I asked you the question. I had already gone offline. Appreciate the confirmation there. Okay. All right, Grok. So with the telebot Python API, how can I send a message to a specific user? Because I have my bot, and I've already interacted with the bot. I've been learning. So I'm not a Telegram user. I'm in the U.S. Telegram and WhatsApp aren't nearly as popular as they are internationally, as from my understanding. So I just don't use those services. I just use normal text messages typically. So this is kind of new to me. And what I learned about bots is bots cannot send an account messages, direct messages, unless that account has previously interacted with them directly. I've already, before this stream, done some interaction with the bot that I created, and so I should be able to send messages to my Telegram account and verify that all this works. So I gotta go figure out how to do that. Hopefully Grok is able to find us a good, quick way to do this. And then we'll fold it into our workflow. And whenever my video goes wonky, makes me wonder. Oh, I'm not all vibe coding. I still think there's some structure behind what I'm doing, Jeffrey. I am thinking about this process. This workflow itself was not vibe coded. It's just my desire to figure out the bits and bobs of a certain API has gone down kind of considerably, because that's the kind of thing where, if it was just a request post, sure, then I would do this myself. But since it is some new API or new client to me, that's where I'm hoping Grok can save the day. Maybe not. We might have to, it's taking its sweet time there. So we'll find what we can. See, there's the installation guide, and we might have to just do this the old-fashioned way. Because you can see the way this is set up is to do handlers, and that's not what I want to do. So I don't know if it's going to be a combination of requests with an actual Telegram API, say here's how you call the Telegram API to send a message, and then a bot as the receiver on the other side. But I'm hoping that we can simplify this by using one library and not splitting up the communication style with Telegram into two separate things. That would be nice. Let's go types of APIs. This gets us to that long page. Is there a message or a chat? Chat. What's a chat do? Chat was reduced to blah, blah, blah. All right. This API documentation is not super friendly. It's kind of involved. If Grok has anything. Grok's still cranking away over there, having just as much of a hard time as I am. I thought I sent something, but what did I made a little test app with Telegram, but I think I just said, oh yeah, it was just an echo bot basically I set the bot to run for forever, and I needed my user ID out of it, which we still may need to get because I don't remember what it is. In order to send the message using the API, I think we'll need that ID. So why don't we run this, see what this looks like. Did I put this in the, yeah. So make T should run with this, although it's gonna probably blow up because I don't have this Telegram bot token set on this Mac OS yet. So here's something cool that I learned about. UV run has a --env file, which gets rid of python.env for me as a dependency because I'm using everything through UV now. So let's try it out. And we'll probably say, nope, can't do that. Yeah, we're missing the Telegram bot token. Not too surprising. So let me env example. I did put it here, so we'll have to do that in the env file, and I think I have that with I think I stored it on 1Password. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to secrets and I'll walk you through it. Oh, I forgot I had updated this so you can actually see me. So I'm taking the Telegram bot token and I'm putting it in the env file as from the example. And then I need to go get the value, which I can't show you, but I'm gonna go unlock 1Password. Yeah, good. I'm making sure that you only see the secret to everybody's stuff. All right, so unlocking 1Password. And then I go to Telegram. I have my Telegram bot. And I'm going to copy the password, go to my terminal, and paste the password in. All right, so I've got that. I need to make sure I get out of here and don't accidentally open that file again. I really need some kind of program that'll hide that in case I do accidentally open it, but that's not today. And then we'll go back to this. Hey, cool. So now I should be able to run make T again, and it's running because it should have sent it, but I didn't have Telegram open, so I didn't get a notification. That's gonna be a problem if Telegram doesn't actually notify me when things happen. But let's open Telegram, see if I'm waiting on something. Oh no, the way this thing worked is I had to be the instigator. So on my, I've got a little bot here. I can't really show you because I can't focus this, but if I go here, and the way my script works is if I hit send to anything, there's no kind of protection here. So it's just like all incoming messages to this particular bot, which I won't name because I don't want extra stuff coming through right now. Not that most people get on it that fast. And I could say hello on here and send it. And I said hello, and then it did your user ID is, and then a number. Oh, there's the number. I don't think that's anything super secret. Hopefully not, because there it is for the world to see. So let's stop the process. So you can see that like that's fine if I want to leave Telegram up and running, but I don't. I want to definitely, geez, close 1Password. There's just danger, Will Robinson. Thankfully, Telegram is, or 1Password is pretty good about hiding passwords. Otherwise, I would have already had to rotate a token. Goodness gracious, it's just like not even. Come on, Grok. Are you even trying? All right, let's go this a different route as well. Let's try a different Grok thread maybe, and using the Telegram API, how can I send a message to a user? See if we'll get that. Investigating, searching. I gave it the Telebot one. I want a quick answer. Okay. So this seems like a path we could take with requests. So I've got my token. That's what, and it looked like some kind of ID colon some long thing. Now, something weird about the Telegram API, I did look at it briefly, is it has this weird format where it's like you do a post and you put your token just like right in the URL, which I guess is safe because it's an HTTPS connection. That's like, it's pretty weird. So we want to do these parameters. It's a JSON post. We need to provide a chat ID. Whoa, why do we need a chat ID? What is that? Unique identifier for the target chat. Okay. But how do I send it to a particular user? Hello, this is a test message. Chat ID. But who's it going to? Getting the chat to send messages, you need the user's chat ID. Oh. So maybe the chat ID is the user ID? To get chat ID from incoming messages. Oh. Let's ask, is the chat ID the same as the Telegram user ID? Don't need a long involved answer. Give me a quick one. Oh geez. Okay. That's obnoxious. So there's kind of some kind of maybe indirection that happens here. Like you have to create a chat first and then everybody responds to it. I don't know. How does this work? So I'm missing something here. Let's go back. Maybe also bring up the actual Telegram docs. Telegram API. The bot API allows you to easily create programs that use Telegram messages for an interface. I'm just wondering if I have to set up a bot first. If the bot, because the problem is the bot is like a little web server that's running. So how does it instigate? Like rather than be a reply kind of thing, how does it actually start a flow? Is the thing I'm trying to figure out. So let's look through this a little bit more carefully. I'm clearly just going too quickly. To send a message to a user, use the Telegram bot API. You'll need to create a bot first, which I've done, and obtain its token from the bot father. That's their like way of interacting with bots, which I've done. I've got this. Know the user's chat ID. You can get this by having the user message your bot first. Okay. Okay. So let's ask it if I can echo out the chat ID. I already have a small telebot script that can echo out the user ID. How can I change the script to get the chat ID? Here is the script. And then let's go copy that little script. And paste it here. Again, I don't need long, dragged out answers. Message chat ID. Does it change? Does the chat ID for a user ever change? Ah. For the lifetime of that conversation. And since it's a DM, I guess, that conversation is forever, right? Okay, I'm not going to block or unblock the bot. If you regenerate your bot token, store chat IDs permanently. Okay, I can do a bunch of crazy stuff if I want to get a different chat ID. Okay, so let's go back up to a little example where they modified my script and just see where it was. It was the message chat ID. Okay, so I am going to say, maybe I don't want to print that out on the screen. Your user ID is such, and chat ID is, and here I'm just going to put this in directly. So I'm going to see it here on my phone, and I can put it in as a secret, but y'all aren't going to see it. But I do think I need it. So let's do this. Let's run make t, and so that's running, and I'll say hi on this side. Oh, come on now. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. I've got the chat ID. Okay. So now we should be able to go to the API or something. Why is it it's just really struggling with that question. Where was a send message API? I had it somewhere. Send message. Where'd you go? Come on. What the heck? Well, this is ridiculous. Where did it go? I just had it a little while ago. Here's the schema. That is a big schema. Send message. 43 times. Good grief. Send message, all of these. Where was I when it said use this? Oh, is that the top of this thread? Here it is. Okay. All right. So what do we need? We need the Telegram chat ID. Oh, we can put it in Markdown. Oh, that's cool. I don't know that I'll need to, but that is cool. What's Markdown v2? Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll go over to the actual workflow, and we're going to just put in Telegram right where we have notify right now. So I'm going to do, I don't think I need the thread ID either. There's some validation we could do with the thread ID later to make sure that it matches or something. I don't know. Well, actually, I don't even know that that's really possible anymore because it's going to be I'm less worried about that, and I'll explain why. When I was doing this with Notify, I was going to use Notify as a public NTFY, Notify as a public service, and I wasn't going to set up my own. You can host it yourself, but that means you're using a public shared service, and it's basically like a pub sub feature. And what that would have meant is that all of my traffic would have been live and potentially discoverable if anybody had found out the specific topic. And since this is all about like an approval human in the loop workflow, I don't want just any rando just approving stuff and having a bot put stuff on my X timeline from me not approving something. But since now I'm going through a bot account on Telegram, this is a lot more secure. So I don't need this thread ID as like this, I was going to use it as some kind of authentication mechanism and embed it in here. So we can essentially take all this stuff and we're going to delete it. Yeah, should I delete it now? Well, I'll keep it as just an inspiration for the moment. And then we'll go here, and we want to do a requests post to the actual endpoint, and we have to construct that from, oh boy, the Telegram bot token. So we're going to need that Telegram bot token as part of the construction because it's going to take this format here. So we want that, and we'll paste this in like this, which is a mess. Delete that, and we'll fill this in with token in a minute. So we'll do Telegram bot token is the name of the token we need to fill in, and we'll say fill this in. That needs to come from the environment in a minute. So, but before we do that, let's go ahead and make this a format string. Close this off for a second. We're still missing some stuff. It's complaining because I'm using an F string that's not actually doing any kind of replacement yet. So we're going to take out this token part and do Telegram bot token right here. So now we have the destination. Let's do this. Let's do post to a URL, and we'll delete inside here and paste that there, and then put the URL here. So that way we get a little bit cleaner of this because we still have a payload that we haven't put in yet. So what? Now we need to do, what else was in there? We have the actual text. Oh, shoot. Text of max of 4,900. I think that's okay. I think all of my, so I still have limitations. I could do multiple messages is one way I could handle this. If I ran out of space, but I'm probably never going to do more than like 4x posts worth, and I will tell the LLM generator to make them smaller than 1,000 characters for sure, because I don't want stuff that's too big on X. Although I do have an X account or a premium account, so I can go bigger if I wanted to. I just don't need to. So we will do. I don't know what the default parse mode is. I don't know if we need to specify that. I think I'll just leave it off for a little while, see what happens. But let's just try and get the chat ID and stuff in there. So we're going to do a post. We need to do some JSON data. we'll say data, and we'll do data is equal to the chat ID, which we'll go get from somewhere. Telegram chat ID. I'm probably going to put this in some configuration and inject that as environment variable. So there was that. And then we need the actual text of the message to go there. So we'll do the here is my test message, and this will test our outbound to Telegram. So there's those things. Okay, so now we got to go get the other stuff. Where are we going to put this? We've got this runtime config, and you can see I've got runtime context notify enabled. And this is where we're getting information. So I could pull this directly from the environment, or I could put this in this context. I've got a context that's defined somewhere. Where's the context defined? Might be in a different file. I think it's in the run file. Yeah. So here's our context schema. Am I making this complicated by sending in this context schema thing? Maybe. But let's just try this anyway. Where did I get this from? Oh yeah, I defined a data class. Okay, it's coming back to me. So it is up here. So we've got we want to do the. Do I care? I'm really thinking that I don't care. Because if these are just from the environment and this is just for me, then I just pull this out as some environment variables, and if it's not there, it'll just blow up. And I don't have to use this weird context schema thing. I can just say, go get it from the environment variable. So let's do that and not mess with the context. And instead here, we can do, we'll still like give it some nicer names. We'll do Telegram chat ID, and then it's going to be equal to this other thing. So then we need to do OS environ. I want to make sure that it explodes if it's not there, so we'll just do an access to it, and we'll get a key error if it's not there. And we can do Telegram bot token, which we do already have. So that's there. And then the new thing is the Telegram chat ID, which I have not plugged in yet. Okay, so those two things are there. We've got this structured correctly. So this should be our post. That should work, except that it'll explode. So now we want to go run our workflow with make. And whoops. Mess something up here. Got this twice. Okay. Make. We get a different thing because we're missing the Telegram chat ID. So let's go to the env example file, and we'll take this and change bot token to Telegram chat ID, and change this to chat ID. Okay. Now I need to go back to my secrets section, and I'm going to go to my env file and put in the chat ID, and then I need to plug in the real value that I saw from my message to my own account. So I'm going to type this in right here, assuming that I get the right value. We'll be able to see, or I'll be able to see, this is working. So I've got just verifying the data here. This is hard to stare at and do an eye for eye value. Okay, I think it's right. So I'm going to save this thing. and we'll go back to wherever I was. Let's just get out of the NV file. That's all that really matters. And bring back the background. There we go. And I'm now realizing this is behind my head. You can't even see it. So sorry about that. So rotate this over here. So here's what I've been building. Apologies for that. It's been a while since I've streamed y'all. I forget what y'all can and can't see. So we've got the bot token is actually going to go into the API call, and the chat ID, which will point to my Telegram user, and then we'll put this data in there, and we've got our post. So if I run make, this should go. Hey, cool. I did get on my side, it says here is my test message, which is exactly the payload for what was put in here. So we've got confirmation that I'm able to do a send here. So it's a question of like, now what do I want that to look like? How do I format this well? So I think what I want to try and do is say parse mode. Let's do this. Let's do, what am I just trying to simulate? We need, let's do parse mode of Markdown. Markdown, I don't know, what the heck's Markdown v2? Telegram, Markdown v2? What is this? Well, I'm going to assume that v2 is better. So let's try this. Markdown v2. So that was what they said. That's what the grok thing said we need. We've got that, v2. And instead of doing text here, we'll do text. We'll do a multi-line string. We'll say here are the post options. And then we can do one, first post, YouTube video. Two, here is an amazing message, an amazing X post. Three, pick me. Okay, so that feels like if Markdown stuff is working properly, Markdown v2, we should be able to get this and see, well, you won't be able to see what I'm seeing, but I'm trying to set this up so that when it comes time to templatize this, so that I'm actually putting real posts in these first, second, and third positions, that this looks appropriate. So let's do this, try it again, and see how it comes out. I'm waiting. I think I may have been a failure because I didn't check the response. Let's do this. Maybe I monkeyed up. Response, raise for status. Could be because there's nothing coming through. So it could be that I got some bad status. Let's try it again. Well, that stinks. Might have to go flip a freaking token. All right, I got to flip the secrets just to look at the error message because the tokens and the URL, that's awful. What failed? 400 client error, bad request for send message, basically. But they didn't say why, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to go print the response JSON, which you won't be able to see. I got to keep this like shut down because I don't want to keep dumping out my can't parse entities. Character period is reserved and must be escaped with preceding double backslash. That is crazy town. What? Why in the world would that be the case? Are they literally saying that all of my periods in this text have to be some kind of weird escaping? All right, I'm going to put in the weird escaping for all of the periods that I can see. And then we're going to go with that. And then I might have to do some like raw text to make this actually work, because it might be like I'm escaping Python, but I'm not escaping. I'm not really. It's saying put in a double backslash. Let's see if I can share this. Yeah, I think I can share this line in the chat. Looks like that. So it might be like a quadruple backslash in order for it to show up in the output unless I use raw. Let's see if it just saved every period that I can see in the text as a double backslash in front of it, but that might not be good enough. And now it says exclamation point is reserved and need a double backslash. So try that. Okay. How far can I get? Okay, I got it. But dang, that was annoying. And I'm really miffed that it like showed off my token. And I have to go like scrub this video later. Okay. So what can I do now? Sorry, I'm thinking cleared that screen, and then I'll get rid of this, comment that out. Okay, then I think I can bring this back. So yeah, you see what I have to do here? This was stupid. So there's gotta be like a Telegram client that will just do this garbage for you, because if I have to do this manually and then go through and all of my posts will like explode on me because I didn't escape something right, that is really dumb. I did at least, like, it's hard to see, but I don't know if you can see it a little bit there. There is a bulleted list there, or a numbered list. So it is at least coming through in my desired format. It's not long enough. I want actual content messages. So I think what should we do next? I guess this is a question. So I think my inclination, well, first of all, let's get rid of notify stuff. Search for this. We don't, do I even need this? I don't need this context anymore, this context schema thing. But am I gonna want it later? Let me think. I want to be able to run this without actually calling Telegram. So I want this, except I don't want to call it notify enabled anymore. What I want to do is I want to rename it to Telegram enabled. Okay. Now, say that there. We're over here. We're here. I want a and then we will have in our code, in our actual workflow, let's see. We've got this chunk of code that was here that the whole point was to like bail out early. We want that. We're going to keep the context around and then switch it to Telegram enabled. And we'll say if it's not, if Telegram is, so Telegram can be disabled, we're not going to even try to send the message. This is our guard, and we'll make sure that none of that happens. And then we don't need a thread ID, we don't need to do anything else. We've got a little print here that I'll leave in for the moment. But now if I run this, is there another spot here? Oh, my workflow is going to blow up because I have other spots where I was using notify enabled. All right, hold on. Yeah, here's an example. So we don't. All right, I'll just rename it to this. I'm going to delete this file eventually, but not yet. So there's that. We've got that spot. Notify enabled. Okay, I think I've cleared them all out. So now I should be able to run the workflow, and it should skip past Telegram. So I'll leave my Telegram direct message chat up here. And boom, goes past everything there. Good. So, and it's because it thinks Telegram is disabled. So I'm going to need, in the ENV example, we'll have now Telegram enabled. It just needs to be any non-empty value. So we'll put it right here. I'm going to go to my secrets and put it in the real thing for a moment and test it. So I'm testing it with when it's enabled. I see my message in my direct messages down here, so that's good. And then notify was waiting for response because I still haven't cleaned that out. So we'll get out of here, and I'll bring this back. Okay. So we're good. We're good. We're making progress. We are. Let's wrap up this chunk with removing notify from this process. You can see we're changing out notify for Telegram, and we've got this thing. We'll figure out if there's better ways to deal with the Telegram library, or if there's a better Telegram API in a bit. So I want to go back to my workflow, and I want to go to the run file, which has the workflow execution. The way this works is I build up the actual context. I then invoke the workflow. I do the notify part here, and then resume it. So the part that I'm going to get rid of is in the when we resume on this spot right here. Response was. So we can do this. We can say fake response. That's what we'll pass in there. And then we can just get rid of notify. None of that's needed anymore. Right. And it was just this little, it was a cool little way of handling this. It was doing some streaming call just to do a quick get. Pretty slick. I actually wish we could do this for the Telegram bot side and do a stream, but alas, they won't let you. So we have to set up a web server instead. All right. So now if we run, Telegram is still enabled. So I'm going to run make. It's going to run and send me a message again, which it did. And you can see response was fake response. That's where the approved post call came in. Notice also that approved post was invoked twice. That's because the approve, where is it? Approve post. So the first time it comes in, it hits the interrupt and then halts, basically does like a yield there. Not literally a yield, but it's behaviorally like a yield. And then when we restart the workflow, it calls approve post again because it knows that that's where the place to pick up from the thread ID. So that print gets printed a second time. And then this time the interrupt, it's like the interrupt has the data. So it's almost like coming back in and just fills in the data as if it had not happened. So that's something to be careful of when you're doing LangGraph workflows, is that if you can get some double logging here if you're not paying attention. Ideally, we would just say like interrupt is the first thing, and then we wouldn't have that double logging, right? I bet if we do it here, let's do it one more time. Now we get approved post just a single time after the interrupt happened. Okay, so I'm going to go back to secrets and turn off Telegram for a moment. By commenting it out in my env file and coming back to the workflow. And here we can now add all this stuff and commit it. So we're going to say switch to, wait, why are you, hold on. One thing I didn't like on there, env example. Let's put it down here. Or I had it twice. Okay, so switch from notify to Telegram. We're not totally done with that process, right? We need to do the other half of this, which was right here, where we generate that fake response. So like the to-do item, whoops. The to-do here is wait with Telegram bot for a response. And then the part that I think I can punt on for now, I'm going to assume, just for the sake that, like, because I don't want to figure this out tonight, it'll be annoying, that I will always get a response and that I can shut down. There's a way in the telebot stuff to shut down when it's been invoked. So I could basically say like, hey, a response comes in, I grab the response data, produce it somehow. Actually, that's going to be interesting. There's a handler. I'm gonna hack it with probably like module level data, something stupid. And then I'll have the bot shut itself down and quit. And then the data will then proceed into the resume right here on the command, and we'll keep going. And so we'll see, we should ideally see the whole flow in this process. So I'm going to leave myself a note to do handle missed responses, use an interrupt, use a Python interrupt, not a LangGraph interrupt. There's got to be some other way. I was looking at this, like, the problem is this infinity polling here. There is a timeout, but it's a request connection timeout. I don't think it's what we want. So I wanted to be able to say, like, what I ideally wanted to do was say, start up and send the messages. And if I have not responded to those messages in like an hour, because maybe I'm not paying attention that day, then just automatically shut down and go from there. But if with this infinity polling, I don't have that option right now. That's where I want to get it, integrate some kind of interrupt thing. So the objective, what I want to pass in with this command is I want to get back to the workflow. Whoops, come on. And approve post is going to have the response, and it's going to peel off the number. I'm going to like supply a number. This is my plan to say like it's number 1. And and then the last one will be like 4 will be like none of these. So that's my way of saying that's all trash. I don't want any of that to go out on my account. So that's the objective. And so I need to parse out the number here from the response. There'll be some kind of text data. It'll be on me to always just supply a number. Again, this is all me. The human in the loop is only ever me. And so I know what kind of data contract I can set up. So I can say it's just going to be a number. And that way when I parse it as an int, it never explodes because it's trusting in me as the user to always just pump in a number. I got to figure out, make sure there's like no secret new lines or something at the end of that, but that's a little bit of parsing that I can do. And then from there, the number will come in. And so the flow will be like all the posts get put here. The posts will be added at this step and added to the state as some list and then I'll have an index out of this, and I'll select one from that index, and then it'll keep going along through the state. I'm going to pick an answer of like it was this post, and then at this publish step, I can take the list of possible posts and the one that was selected, combine them together, and say, okay, it was this one, and then use the X API, which I have done in the past, to actually do the publication, and that'll be the whole flow. So where are we? We are needing to do this part right here, right? So let's go over to Telegram, this little test area that I made. We might need one other identifier here. Like right now we've got the Lambda message of who can accept this. The challenge is like, let's say somehow you're a clever individual and you figure out what my bot name is. It doesn't actually require you to be all that clever, to be honest. And you think it would be cute to like add some messages to my bot. And if I had this running indefinitely, then I could be fighting off spam messages. But I can also take advantage of the fact of the only responses that I should ever accept are from me, Matt Lehman, Telegram user. And I have a Telegram ID, a user ID, and so I can put a function, a handler. This is basically an authorization control, and I can say this message will only return true if it matches, if the where is it? The message from user ID is the ID that I expect. So I gotta store that as well as the user ID, and that way I get some very cheap authorization because I can trust that my user ID is going to be unique, and Telegram will always send me just that. So how do I put all this together? And how do I stop it when it's time? I think there is a way. I want to call in like a function. And I can probably take advantage of a closure. Oh gosh, this is going to be weird. The function is basically not going to return until the bot stops. So here's what this I think will look like. So we'll say, what was my last one called? Actually, get show. Listen for notify response. So we'll be not creative and use the same thing. Listen for Telegram response. And do I need to take any? Yeah, I need to take in that context because that's how I'm going to know how to not do something. We'll take in the context, and that's the context schema from this location here. And we can just make it relative, all that. Okay, so then we've got the context schema, and we are going to return some kind of dict I don't know what's going to go in for data. If not context telegram enabled, then we're going to print telegram disabled, not listening for response, and oops, we'll just go ahead and return out of here. Otherwise, we want to do the stuff above. So right now we've got the bot. We've created the bot, and I want to go ahead and like put all this stuff and just put it in here. I don't think there's any reason why I can't define it inside of the function. Whoops, not that deep. So we're adding the message handler. I don't know why it's complaining. Okay, fine. Because I want to do this inside of here for a reason. The reason is I want to be dumb, and I want to use a closure to say, like, response is equal to none, or response is equal to an empty dictionary. And then at the bottom here, after we get out of this, I want to be able to return the response. Whoops. This is stupid. Probably a really stupid way to construct this, but I think it'll do the job. So I want to do, we've got the message. Instead of doing true, let's get rid of this comment because that's not going to be true. We're going to do the message dot from user ID has to equal to OS environ Telegram user ID. Doesn't exist yet, but it will soon. So nobody else is going to be permitted. And then we'll do, I don't know, call this process. I know it's not access. Can I make that shut up if I do that? Oh, go away. Shut up. Shut up. Oh, it's probably coming from, all right, whatever. I'm just going to have that warning for now. Don't care. Now, we want to do two more things. I need to do, put something in response. The other thing I want to do is to do shutdown bot. So that's going to be the only thing that will shut it down. Get rid of that, know what it's doing. So we'll hit this. Once it shuts down, it will get past, it'll stop blocking here, and then we'll should return the response. So I think for the moment, let's just do this of response success equal to true. Like, we don't even need to peel off anything from the data yet. I really just want to see that something gets done there. And then there was a method to shut it down. But what was it? Bot shutdown? Stop? I really thought it was, dang it. That was a guess. Clearly not remembering very well. It's been a couple of weeks since I looked at this API. So let's go to Telebot. There's the reply to. Doesn't show a shutdown. Let's see, stop. Stop. Stop bot. Stop bot by polling and closing the worker pool. Which version of stop is it, I guess, is the question. We've got stop bot, stop poll, stop polling. Oh, that's a different kind of thing. That's a poll. That's a not polling. That's like an actual kind of message poll. Stop polling. I think I want stop bot. Stop bot by stopping polling and closing the worker pool. So we'll do bot, stop bot, which is probably going to do what we need. Okay, so now we've got this. We will then do our response is going to be listen for Telegram response. Call it. It takes the context. We need to, well, we don't need to, but I'm going to choose to do it that way. Then, so that should get rid of that to do. And if we did all of this right, I'll need to do some kind of reply to the message, because it's going to send out the post request. It's going to have all of the actual message data. I'll see that here, and then I will do, and while I'm like seeing that come in, it'll start up the actual bot. From that bot, I can do, you know, a number. I'm not even gonna pay attention to that number right now. Actually, probably should. Oh crap! What is it? What's it gonna be? Let's go back here. Oh. Oh, cool. Maybe it does. Okay. That could be nice. Does it do all the parsing for me? Okay. Let's figure it out. Does send message handle all of the Telegram escaping that is expected? I don't know. All right. So what else did we need? Are we ready to test it? I think. Well, I commented out the Telegram stuff, so let's just try it, right? Worst thing I could do is I'm wrong. Okay. So Telegram is disabled. That's good. Let's go back to secret mode for a moment. And I'm going to put Telegram back on. So now Telegram is enabled. So we'll go here. We'll go there. Why is it not? Didn't send me something. Oh, there it goes. Dang, the API was just slow. What is it doing? Send approval notification. I did get the message. Why is the workflow not proceeding? Or is it? I'm just not seeing the... I might not have done any good logging. So if we go back to the workflow, so we saw, what do we see? Send approval notification. Okay. Yeah. And then we have the interrupt. The interrupt is coming in here. So I need to respond now. So I'm going to respond, and I'm going to say 1 and send it. Oh, no. Oh, right. Ha. I didn't set the user ID. Okay. Well, that was an easy mistake to make. So let's go to the example And we now need the Telegram user ID. Chat user. Okay. And if we're going to be alphabetical and be sticklers about it, we'll put it there. Then go back to the secrets, go back to my env file, and I'm going to use my get the user ID. I had that earlier. Okay. Okay, and then we can go to the workflow. I think that's everything there. So this is now ready to go, I think. Make sure there's nothing else that I should be showing. Clear that out. Bring this back. And let's try it again. Oh, you know what I should do first? Let's add a little bit of messaging here. Let's put a print right before we start infinity polling. Print listening for Telegram response. Okay, so we'll use make, generate the post. It sent all 4 of them, listening for Telegram response. Then I can pick a number. Sent it. Now the question is my little validator correct? I'm afraid that it's not. I'm afraid that what I have here coming in as from user ID and what is coming in here do not match. Therefore, did not receive. All right, because what I'm not sure of is, did this workflow not work because it's just not going through, or did it not work because I messed this up? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment out this version and return it to the version that would accept any message. Try it again. I was doing too many steps at once. That was my problem. Had this worked right, all of this stuff would have started printing out and so on. But I don't think it did. So we'll stop this. We'll go up here. We'll take this content. Whoops. We'll take it and we'll duplicate it, comment out that part, and change this to just be true. We already have the user ID part here. And since you saw my Telegram user ID earlier, I'm just going to print it out. So let's do print f string os environ Telegram user ID. Why do these not match? The question of the day, or of the hour. Okay. So it only should have proceeded if the message matched. The message from user ID matched this. I should also, while I'm here, print the, it should definitely be a string, but I've seen crazier things happen from, so it could just be that it got converted to an int. So there's that. The OS environment is definitely going to be a string, so I don't feel any need to check the type there. So that could be a sign of what's happening, is like maybe this came in as an integer type because these IDs look like integers. And I was comparing a string to an integer, in which case I would do a cast to get the types to match up. Okay, I think that's going to be everything for our debugging. Let's run it. Generated posts. I did see this message pop up down here. I'm going to pick 3 this time. Aha. Yep. So it followed through. We're seeing this there. Now what's disturbing is, look, didn't stop the bot. Oh, finally. Okay. That was weird. Maybe it has time. Does the shutdown time to shut these down? Okay. But what we know to be true now is that we can get rid of this, turn that back on, and this needs to be stirrified. We need to compare the string version of the ID to the ID that's from the. Notice that it did return that success stuff. That's good. Response went back. It went back into the workflow, which is the intent. So let's try one more time. Okay, I didn't actually. I'm waiting it for show up here. Says it generated, called generate posts, but nothing is appearing here. Why? Oh, I don't have signal. Not connecting. Hold on. There we go. All right. My phone is in a pocket of my basement where I'm not actually getting good signal. So it had no connection to Wi-Fi or LTE. All right, so I got it. It was actually there as it should have been. And this time let's do option 1. Not that it matters. So I'm going to hit send. There, we immediately saw some data come back. Where I'm going to 10:29 local time. See how long it takes to actually shut this sucker down. Okay, so it is waiting. It's doing some kind of polling thing, I guess, behind the scenes to actually get going. So it's always, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. My workflow is going to be, ideally this will be running on a cron job, and by the time it receives the data, if it takes a little bit of time to actually resume, and there's a 10-second delay, who cares? So we've got the data. We're going end to end with Telegram now. It's not the most beautiful thing. There's some stuff about it that I don't like, about like using this this closure, sort of a weird pattern. What we need to do next, though, all right, so we do have the validation, and we know that that was actually cool. We saw that the func authorization works like we would hope it would work, because if somebody else tried to submit something, and it doesn't match the user ID, it's not going to get by, right? So that would just get dropped. That's really cool. So I think we can get rid of these prints, and we don't need to do a reply back. Probably. Yeah, probably. Because what would I say? Got it? Thanks. Because when I'm submitting these things, I'm gonna be like, I want number 2, go, and I'm just gonna assume that the rest of it works. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna notice, because I'm not gonna see anything show up on X when I check it later in the day, probably. Okay, so we can get rid of the reply to, and we can get rid of user ID here. What we still have to peel off, though, is where is the message data? Oh, come on. You must manually escape special characters in your message text before passing it to send message. How do I know? Oh, there's a formatting thing. Okay, so we can use telebot formatting, I guess. Escape markdown. Nice. All right. So, what do I want? I want to go up here, and I want to say import telebot. No, I probably can't do that. Well, maybe I could, but I don't want to. From telebot formatting, import escape markdown. Let's just take the one function that we need. And now we come down here and we say escape markdown text version. There was a version, wasn't there? Maybe not. Maybe that was a hallucination by Grok. Let's go here. Escape markdown. Escape markdown. Okay. Sure. So now, in theory, we should be able to do this and not get any weird stuff. I'm going to have to... It blew up on me and then showed my token last time, so I'm going to go into secrets mode before I run this again, because that's not something I want to share again. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to come over here and go to secrets, and I'll do make. Lost connection again. Come on now. Okay, there we go. It worked. Cool. So that seems like a reliable way that I'll be able to just create my text as I want it and then not worry about doing some kind of manual escaping. So what's left for us? We need to parse the message. Let's see, come over here. No, I want, let's go back to fast mode with telebot message handlers. How do I get the message text? Oh. Well, I guess you can't get much easier than that. Text. All right. So close notify. Let's come down here and just put in response text is equal to message text. And then we do this. Right there. And I'll say hello stream. Send that off. Look, there it is. Neat. Okay. And there were, if I'm looking at that string, there were no other characters in there. So it didn't include an extra new line. So creating an actual response number should be fine. So I feel good about that. And it seemed, do you see how fast that was this time? So I think when it's going to stop the bot and how long it waits is really going to be up to how long was it polling? And did I catch it at the right moment? I don't think there's any magic behind that. So now what? Let's see where we are. It might be where I want to stop for the evening. We're going for an hour and a half. We've got, we added in the user ID. We did the listening. We're returning a response. It's going back into the workflow. We're not handling missed responses yet. We'll do that in the future. And then I made this function that uses a closure. Like this is the outside data outside of the function, using closure to capture that data. And then it's returning that as the dict. It's not something that you'd want to call multiple times, but I don't plan to for this workflow. And we added our formatting. It's pretty easy. Feel good about it. Say handle response data from Telegram. Now I'm trying to think where I want to go next time. So next time may not be on stream. I'm not committing to do every bit of this on stream. I have been working on this on and off. So I'm just thinking out loud at this point. The things that I need to do is once the data is inserted back in, I probably want to pick off the value from the response and shove it into the state. So we need to modify the state, which is up here, and say something like selected response or selected post is going to be equal to an int, something like that. So then when I go back and post options, I guess I've never used these. So we'll have the list of strings. Those will be the different post options. And we will have a selected post, which will correspond to, I guess at the time it'll be a one based index thing. So maybe my approve post will convert. That's probably enough. That's probably a good idea. I can know what kind of data is coming in, and I can convert it to a 0 based index. And then here, it can just pull, it can take the selected, or it can look at, I guess I'm going to need to say like also not approved, or give some kind of error code of like what is it when I didn't select one? Is it -1? And if it's a -1, don't publish anything. I don't know, something like that. Maybe 42. Some kind of an identifier that will allow us to pay attention to that. The other thing I want to try, I don't know, I think I left it in here. Yeah, when we get to the actual generation of posts, I want to do some calls to the model with structured output. Because I'm trying to think of like, how am I going to get these posts? I can say, okay, X, give me, or Grok or whatever, give me some posts but I want to be able to I need to be able to parse it. So one of the things that I found in LangGraph is this ability to do with structured output, where you give it some kind of data class, and then you invoke it, and then the response you get back from that LLM call conforms to that data class, so that you get a proper instance of something and can access that with some confidence that it'll be correct. I don't know what happens. I don't know how LangGraph guarantees that. I have no idea. Maybe it's just maybe the models are smart enough and it's like, just give me a schema and I can definitely do it now. Don't really know. So we'll generate some posts. We won't bother with memory yet or any kind of embedding or fetching. I want to get to the flow where I'm just generate some posts and don't have it based off of my personality or any kind of input data context that will eventually go into the prompt to give the post something that sound more like me rather than generation stuff. So I definitely anticipate that the early posts will be garbage, and a lot of time I'll be like, nope, none of these are good. But I can keep riffing on that. Ultimately, where we're going will be a cron job that will run this whole workflow and just invoke it, just like with that make target. I mean, if you look at the make target is just running UV run end file. It's using this checkpointer thing. So I might even have a cron job that says make X post and just lets it run. I don't know if that'll actually work because cron runs as a different user potentially, and yada yada yada. We gotta make sure that stuff works. But that's where I'm off to. So I already committed that. I'm gonna push this up. We've got Telegram integrated. Feeling good. Notifies there. Gonna have more useful responses from Telegram. Formatted in Markdown. That's cool. That's a bonus if I wanted to add some extra stuff. And yeah, I think that's it. So thank you for watching this evening. Hopefully you learned something along the way. I certainly made progress and had fun about it. I'm realizing now that I've had my secret screen on for a while. Whoops. Sorry. You know, happens. I was describing everything we did, so it's all good. But I was saying we're going to use this make target for the cron stuff. That's it. That's it for me. Thanks very much, and I'll see you next time. Take care.